Hey, what up, y'all? It's the Normies coming at you a little bit of Wild Season 3, Episode 11. We got Pat in our ears and on our phones. We're using our phones to currently talk with him in Discord because Pat hasn't been feeling well, so he is at home. All right, Rana, breakdown. Wire last episode. Do the thing that you do.
Rundown.
Yeah, let's go rundown.
Let me get here.
That is
okay.
So, you need a t-shirt about that.
Right, that'd be cool.
I want you to get the
Basically, Brother Muzone is back and looking for Omar. Bubs was sold prepaid phones, so those prepaid phones have a wire on them, basically.
Pre-wired.
The pre-wired ones. We saw Rawls at the gay bar, which was really nice. And then also Bunny, basically Rawls and everybody else knows about Amsterdam and what Bunny was doing. So that news is out, so we have to deal with that now.
He's on leave now.
Everybody's upset that it's working.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Marlo shot Devon, that girl. Avon's girl, so.
Two in the chest, one in the mouth.
Yep, so shit's going down, basically.
Wait, also they set up we did set up the fake phone spot.
Yeah.
Shopping at now, so they have like continuous.
Oh, yeah.
And faking receipts.
Yeah, and that's really it, actually, yeah.
And Cuddy is still trying to box in the gym.
Yeah.
Trying to get folks coming in.
That's far enough. Drop your laundry and turn slowly.
Oh, you know who that is? Oh, damn, son.
Come on, laundry in the ring.
Rob me now.
Omar, isn't it?
The little bow tie handgun.
I see you favor a 45.
That I do. I keep one in the chamber in case you ponder. That showpiece you got there.
Walther, PPK.
Nice.
380.
James
Double
Bond.
action.
These motherfuckers in there over guns.
That gun ain't got no firepower to make my joint useless.
You might not hit me.
This range and this caliber? Yeah, if I miss, I can't miss.
I admire a man with confidence.
I don't see no sweat in your brow neither, bro.
I want to ask you something, brother.
Yeah, boy. Hey, man, I used to not like Omar, but I started like Omar now.
What? Hold on.
How did you not like Omar?
You did like Omar.
What was there to not like?
No, because he was fucking with my boy Avon and his, his money and shit, but, now he's cool.
Omar is just doing every mission we did in Grand Theft Auto.
Right. It's like Omar beat the game, now he's just doing the fun shit.
Yeah, he's trying to 100% it.
You ain't gotta dream no more, man.
Stringer Bell!
I think Stringer's gonna kill Avon.
You need to be his last words, though. You ain't got dream no more, sweet prince.
I like the name Shim.
I'm not a politician, I'm an academic. All I know is that from a public health perspective, there are remarkable things happening in the free zone. We're interacting with an at-risk community that is largely elusive. I mean, we're even talking some of these people into drug treatment.
And that's just what UM and Don's Coors have brought to the table.
When the story breaks, the ministers will surely be against you. And most of the city council will be walking sideways away from your administration.
But it's my game.
The governor and the legislature.
Right.
Now look, we need to think. See if we can keep this thing going without calling it what it really is. Huh? I want you to talk this thing out. Hey, Earth, thanks for holding it.
He wanted to nip it and now it's still going.
You gave money up front? $250,000, yo. To Clay Davis. How you know? What you said. You won the game? Nah, hell no, he ain't that crazy.
Oh, he is, man.
I told you about the faucet. Oh, it's the goose that laid the golden egg.
Did he just take his fucking money?
Did you ever actually see any of your cash?
Oh my god, what a
The
gangster.
federal building, yeah. Yeah, what office? Came down to the lobby.
Oh my
How much? 35,000 so far.
$250,000 you've been
For bribing them motherfuckers.
There are no bribes.
Chunky coach.
Chunky Coats gets his grant money the same way everyone does. He fills out applications, he makes sure the plans meet spec, then he prays like hell.
Yeah, man, I feel bad for Stringer, bro.
Just wish you'd run it by me sooner.
Oh my god.
Damn,
Bro.
Fuck like Davis.
Damn, look at that shot. Oh.
So pretty.
$250,000, bro. $250,000.
Oh my god. He's
And
so
all you get is
pretty.
35
He's so
G's?
pretty.
Fuck that.
I would kill.
Yeah, Clay Davis gotta get got.
He's a fucking state senator, bro.
That's fucking.
I don't know why he would fuck with, like,
During the first
people like that.
Brazen, man.
Because they can't go to the cops.
He's gonna get killed.
You're a
Like,
state
He's
senator.
a politician.
Fuck that noise.
There are rules to this game.
No.
The department is ready to shut that mess down with mass arrests.
Why don't you move?
Yes, there's weight.
Oh my god, he's so dirty.
I think he's gonna make some good.
I mean, he's just trying to put the blame off himself because the mayor's about to dump it on them.
Yeah.
Putting the responsibility for this back at City Hall is the only move I have left. I mean, I spend Royce before he spends me.
You want me to,
Not you. Your pal Tony Gray. If he's gonna take a run at Royce, he's gonna need ammunition.
He's like, I'm gonna need ammunition.
I don't have
No, this is the
ammunition.
perfect thing to put
I do have one with you, Councilman. You owe me.
I want that.
I know, shit.
I mean, but you break it down a system that works
Something.
on a different
Yeah,
way.
self-frequency identification device.
Both parties gotta break it down eventually anyway. Just trying to figure out who's gonna get the fall.
Old analog machines, we used to have to follow the guy around. New digitals, man, you just pull the number right off the cell tower. He has 3 of them, I remember, right? Homeland Security grant sent them to you. Every big county department in the state.
I like that guy, man.
The FBI guy.
Yeah, I like him since day one, yeah.
He's been a helpful Harry.
All this stuff falling apart.
Yeah, the heavy bag too. Yeah, where you get this stuff at? The town of Bedrock?
That was good.
Fuck you. Because bedrock can be made out of rocks, and you know it. Oh shit. Look at all the grenades.
Yeah, the Stringer needs to speak himself out of this whole situation.
Who we at?
Clay Davis.
Oh, you're right, Pat.
Yeah.
Downtown Clay Davis? So murder ain't no thing. But this here's some assassination shit.
Murder ain't no thing, but this is assassination.
You kill a downtown nigga like that, the whole world gonna stand up and take notice.
Police.
Look at him actually being smart.
All of that.
Right, what the fuck just happened? They switch roles?
They saw your ghetto ass coming from miles away, nigga. You got a fucking beef with them? That shit is on you.
Wow, no, that's fucked up. I'm like, that's fucked up. We're supposed to be partners through and through.
That is true, but Avon ain't wrong though. Avon ain't wrong.
Whatever.
Stringer be there for Avon.
Stringer's now number 3. I don't know.
It's also only $250,000. They've got so much money that
It's about
doesn't make it.
respect.
You get rolled sometimes.
But all the quarter bill, bro.
If I've got multiple millions
Nah,
in
nah,
first
nah,
quarter,
nah, nah.
I don't know if they're making
That's
Pablo
Stringer
much,
thing.
man. Quarter bill's still a lot of money.
That's not
Yeah, $250,000 is a lot of money, bro. A lot.
Yeah, bros. Alright, hold on. Call you back.
Oh shit, he's got
pop the SIM card out, keep the burner so don't. Oh, we got a couple of those.
Damn.
Okay. This man is being environmentally conscious.
Bro, you better have those SIM cards labeled.
Right?
It's 2 different providers, so they're probably different colors too.
That's some shit they teach you in Europe.
Yeah. I have that too.
Yeah.
I have 2 cards.
He just hit your friend's number. The Western? His cell. Should we be worried about this? I seen your picture on them globe posters back in the day. Little undercar shit, nigga, you know. I had physical defect. What? You got glass jaw? Forehead, nigga.
Cranium shot to do you wrong.
Yo, look here. I know how to go around and collect a dollar here, a dollar there. I'm trying to put together a select group of people, right? Call them my Gold Circle Club. And they gonna make a substantial
But
contribution.
patrons.
And it's the same role.
Gotta go patron.
You know I don't want my fucking name facing on the damn wall crazy, nigga. How much money you talking about? 10,000.
Damn.
You can go through all that for 10,000? So then go get a 15,000.
What?
Alright, so 10,000 is not that much. 250K.
You noticed that. You saw how they lived.
Yeah.
Damn.
If 15K ain't shit, then 250K is still a decent amount, but it's a loss you can recover from.
I mean, 250,000 is a lot, bro. Stringer Bell's shitty, bro.
It's only a lot if you think it's a lot.
That's
Bill
just
Gates to lose
Stringer is
250,000.
upset because it's his
Couch
reputation and name. He got played. It's not off the money.
Yeah, but he got played in a realm that he don't even exist in.
Oh shit. He was the one that called him.
Check out what I sent you. Hey, information's good. So we can talk on the real side now.
He's a snitch, Pat. He's a snitch.
God damn it, Bell. What the fuck you doing?
It's like you and me both trying to make sense of this game.
Damn.
Speak your mind, Russell.
Russell.
Called him ass Russell.
Your man told Omar Little that I was responsible for the torture of a young boy who was close to Mr. Little's heart. Your man, in effect, sought to have me hit. This is business. Business is where you are now. But what got you here is your word and your reputation. With that alone, you've still got an open line to New York. Without it, you're done.
Look, you hit the joint, these people gonna try and take the rap for it. They're gonna say all that firepower is theirs. All you gotta do is just hit them with the parole back up.
I can't make no promises. It's gonna be a nickel at least.
Oh, man. Him and me.
I'm gonna do my best, alright?
What the fuck?
This man killed D'Angelo because he was afraid D'Angelo was gonna roll.
And Wallace.
Look at
And
Wallace.
And look at him tumbling, straight tumbling.
Yo, man, if he gives up Avon, I'm gonna be hella shitty.
He just
It's done.
did.
Literally, he's doing it right now. He's been giving up.
And Avon even stood his ass up for him, bro. That's some dirty shit right there.
He just did it.
I like to point out, we'll point it out in the discussion, but I love this. I love it.
Avon didn't give him up, right?
I really
No,
hate
he's-
this
he's
fucking episode.
Muzone, but he,
Oh, Pat says he hates this episode.
I mean,
Too much snitching.
Avon was kind of doing the same thing, Pat.
No, Avon says like, if my boy did this, how can I fix it? So he was even trying to take his boy's blame because he didn't even know his boy did this. Avon was even trying to stand up for fucking Stringer. That's some dirty shit Stringer did.
But now his reputation online, I don't know what Avon's gonna do.
Damn, we have some new equipment.
Nice. Hey, that was very generous of Avon to just do that for him.
Man, he was like 10. You know, I was talking for 10. Like, man.
I'm a beast, coach. Alright, boy, don't be gloating on us.
I'm only gonna have some real facts. You know, one of them tournament things. Yeah, we gladiators, son.
Y'all got skills. Maybe be good for y'all to spar with some boys you don't know.
The nigga stepping miles, she getting dropped.
I'm afraid they'll lose the fight, get mad, and go kill the kid in real life. Like, legit.
In 10 minutes, we're gonna have an affidavit for a city judge to sign. It's for Russell Bell's dirty selves.
Good pull.
It is that Bay Wireless doesn't take 5 days to process it. You owe me this. That whole port case came down early behind some ugly shit in your house. Now, I don't care how you do it, but I need my wire today.
Yo. Hashtag never forget the Sabakas.
Right.
These guys want
Straight Game of Thrones shit, bro.
See, we need a police. We had a white police officer. Our house was on his beat. And he would be sitting out talking to my mother damn near every night.
Let's move on to the tip line information.
I'm so sorry, baby. I'm real sorry, but I was not finished.
Yeah, tell
I
me.
had not seen until last week. A young officer, black officer, came by my stoop. I was sitting out, gave me his card. We just talked. And see, now I know his name and face, and he knows my name and face. That is how it should be.
Damn right.
I've never seen that in my life.
Isn't that weird that this is topical?
I've never seen police like that.
Yo, I can't tell me Amsterdam ain't working, bro.
We're gonna do our own Amsterdam, bro.
You can make the Normie studio a free zone.
I have the public See that building there? The old striker building. It's a funeral parlor. Last stop before the cemetery for West Side white folk. About the time that Jim Crow was breaking up back in the early 60s. Somebody asked old man Striker, they said, Striker, gonna change your policy and start burying black folk? And Striker said, yeah. Not to do them all at once.
Oh, what the fuck?
Had a lot of respect for that man. Because like most folks, I always knew what he stood.
I'm doing my job.
Oh, he just told. Oh.
Look at it and show you the good. Come on, let me show you the ugly.
Bro, Bunny's leaving the forest with such grace. I love it.
He's got a whole presentation and it's all prepared for him.
Every pending to be retired cop should be like Buddy Golden.
Stringer Bell's given name.
He could have went about it a little more officially.
For now,
That's fucked up.
Ahmed!
They have to change his name so they can.
So they thought it was like some,
FBI
yeah, some terror shit.
Also, the subtitles called it Ahmed.
I know, Ahmed. They really tried to say
It's Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Go on, Councilman. I'll wait for you down here.
Yeah, Colin.
What you gonna see ain't pretty, but it's safe. I think you need to take this journey yourself.
Damn!
Don't blame me for the W&D's.
He just comes back strung out. Like,
Where? Comes back.
this shit.
Man, interesting way to shoot that, just showing his face the whole time. He looks disgusted.
Because we already know what he's seeing.
I ordered one for you. Surprised I got.
A little, after the way we left it.
The type A, Jimmy. People like me break things. When I slow down, I'll take a minute to think about it.
Is that your idea of an apology?
I didn't drive an hour of 95 to apologize.
She has a card in her hand.
Yeah. Hotel room fee is right there.
Missed you too, I guess. Still, it seems a long way to come just to tell me that. Turn around and drive back down to DC.
I'm driving back to it.
Uh-oh.
Your key to magic.
I did hear a crazy Baltimore story. Some renegade police commander takes it on himself to, I don't know, legalize drugs, and the police
Don't tell her
The
anything.
mayor doesn't even think it's Coleman. You know?
Jim, if you playing your ass,
No, I can't say that.
your mouth shut.
McNulty's not done.
Still, it's funny, some water cooler talker down in DC knows any Baltimore cop's name.
I was just wondering.
Your eyes are too big.
Listen,
Oh.
Good for McNulty!
Go chick! Go chick!
What? I think you should have hit it one more time.
Yeah, I think he should have just like circled around.
No, this is a big move for him. This is a big step.
Yeah, well, you better look at this shit. Can you fucking believe this? I mean, I got a crib that's overlooking the harbor. This is the same place we used to run through this motherfucker. We had every security guard in there following us.
They should have.
True. And then there was at one time.
They both turn on each
Hell
other.
yeah, I told your ass not to steal a badminton set. What you gonna do with a fucking net? We ain't got no yard. I'm like, yo, that white boy ain't gonna jump over that counter and come chase after me. He said, I said, come on, Louis. Your ass was running too fast as you could, punching yourself in the chest, looking all mad and shit. Ah! There too, man, right there.
Hey, this is good writing.
Man, if I had to bought half this waterfront property, god damn it. Forget about that for a while, man. It was just dream with me. You ain't got a dream no more, man.
I don't remember.
I can't get too fucked up tonight, man. I got some shit I gotta go on Sunday tomorrow. Plus, fucking Kodak got working for us, man. I gotta put his coat. He had anything to do with that Clay Davis bullshit, man. I'm gonna have to cut his money, little faggot. Time I beat,
Oh, I see. Inquiring about that.
What? You need me to do something for you? You see where you gonna be at. You need to relax more, man.
Damn, they're both about to get each other.
You know I don't take my work too seriously. That's right. It's just business.
Where Muzone coming from?
Damn it, well said it. It's just business.
Just business when they both know damn well it ain't. Oh man.
It's like their final hug. What the fuck is happening?
They know it. They know something. That's it. They know it.
Who knows what though? Because they both seemingly.
No,
possibly
bro.
snitched
You
on
know
each
with your
other.
friends or family.
What was it?
You know a feeling. You know it's something.
Just because you're paranoid don't mean it ain't out to get you.
Yep. Stringer definitely snitched, but now I'm a little sus on Avon because.
See, the thing is, I don't think Avon would do it though. I don't think Avon's like that. Avon got some loyalty. I don't know about Stringer.
I like the way Avon told that story of him running away after stealing a badminton shit. It just sounded so real. It sounded like something that actually happened. I could imagine.
Alright, there you
Cuddy's so good, man. I love this storyline too. He's helping out these kids.
touch gloves.
The little dude.
Bro, he's so fierce though. Look at him.
Quick.
Yeah, he's about to get his ass whipped by this little kid.
They ain't even in the same weight class. Just punch him once. Just drop his ass.
Bro, he's a little twig. Looks like ooh.
This little kid's gonna die.
Right?
Did it?
That's why the hell I keep telling you got to breathe, boy. You had enough?
No, I'm good.
Oh man. Well, homie got hard.
Put your back in there. There it is.
Sometimes you gotta get beat up on.
Yeah.
So that's not discipline. The other crew is got little tiny, teeny tiny shrimpy boys.
Oh.
That's it.
That's all we needed,
Motherfuckers is hugging.
Yes.
Where's the champagne?
Don't celebrate yet, honestly.
They always celebrate.
You guys all see this.
Oh my God, Omar and Brother Muzone. Oh God.
Okay.
Hey!
Oh man, Stinger gonna get got.
Oh.
I do. You got plenty to learn, but on the hard side, be good.
Nice.
You take a
Yeah.
punch, bro.
Sports.
He can take a punch.
He didn't get mad. He doesn't look like he's gonna get mad.
This is great.
Y'all had me in a spin, right? Mr. Bell, I don't know. Little man, we gonna get all this shit sorted out. If the shit don't come up right, one way or another, you gonna pay for this shit.
Look, I understand you're angry, but at the same time, you can see the progress we made in here.
I honestly don't know what passed between you and Senator Davis.
But if you're unhappy with Clayton's performance, then you have to work that out.
Holy shit!
You know, Stringer been having that extra muscle before.
He's not gonna kill the groveling guy. Avon sold him up the river. Holy shit. Avon totally disclosed it to Muzone. Oh my god.
Oh!
Damn, this is the last of Stringer Bell. Fuck.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, the birds!
Strapped. Ain't involved in that gangster bullshit no more.
First face to face.
Kill Brandon now.
What's that niggas want, man? Money? Is that it? Cause if it is, man, I could be a better friend than you all alive.
You still don't get it, dude. It's not about your money, bro. The boy gave you up.
Cause it ain't business.
That's right. And we ain't had to talk to his ass neither.
This shit came back, huh? Who knows?
It seemed like I can't say nothing to change your minds.
Take it like a champ, bro. Fuck it.
Taking like Stannis Baratheon over here.
Well, get on with it, motherfucker.
Oh! Yeah. Jesus! Twice with the shotgun.
Can't believe this.
What?
He did.
He wasn't long for this.
In the fucking building, he was trying to get permits for and shit.
I didn't think it was gonna happen this episode.
B&B Enterprise. Coming soon.
Damn, he was such a good character though.
But he did go out like Stannis though.
He did take it. Like
The Baltimore version of Do You Duty
I feel like,
Why, motherfucker?
Runner, are you
I feel
okay?
like this show's not gonna be the same without him though. Like,
Pat, there goes your boy!
I can't.
Countdown.
I can't believe they did it. I can't. What the fuck?
Countdown.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, he took it like a champ. So I mean, there's nothing could have done. I mean, he just had to take it like a champ. But fucking Avon, like, come on, bro.
It should have been Avon! It should have been Avon!
Everyone's got to get his though. They've got cops that run.
Should have been. Remember
Yes.
this guy? He fucking killed Wallace. He killed Dee.
yeah.
He cheated. Well, he had an affair with these girls.
But
I don't know.
he had Wallace.
Stringer had
No.
it coming
Listen,
for a while,
I felt bad for Wallace's death, but I understood Wallace's death. I felt bad for Dee Dee's death. I understood Dee Dee's death. Brenda, that fucking his girl, that was fucked up because there's nothing way around that. Like that's not gonna make you any money. That wasn't fucking with your business, so you didn't have to put your dick in her. That was fucked
What was
up.
her name again?
Brenda,
Donnett.
right?
Donnett.
Donnett. And
Donnett.
Dee's mom's name is Brianna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe Stringer died, bro. That was, man. This was like the worst fucking episode of this whole fucking series.
Bro, and he set him up. Stringer set up Brother Muzone to die.
Yeah.
Like, so the two enemies that he created teamed up to kill him. I thought that was cool.
Bro, this was
and the third enemy he created,
daylight.
which was his fucking
Broad
homie.
daylight. Like,
in his own.
Can I be
in
honest?
his
If
property.
I was A1 and I noticed everything was locked, I'm running up and down, I would run towards that window and.
You mean Stringer?
Sorry, Stringer. I would run to the window and.
That's like the movies though. Like if you've ever tried to jump through a pane of glass, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Like your best
fall into earth on top of.
Yeah, like so. Worst case scenario, you hit the window and you just kind of bounce back for you, and then you get shot anyway. Best case, you go through the window and slice up 10 arteries before you smash into the pavement, and then they just walk down the stairs and they're like,
Chris, question though.
That was the most-
But if you like shoot a bullet through the glass when the bullet is breaking through the glass, then you don't have to worry about that, right? You're just jumping out. Like I don't know why you didn't try to like.
What if the bullet doesn't break the glass all the way?
He never gun either.
He also didn't have a gun. Hey, I just do want to say, this isn't a spoiler, but there is going to be a thing that's going to happen in a future episode that's going to look unbelievable, and the true story behind it's even crazier. So.
What? What's that?
Because I know that this conversation is going to come back to bite me in the ass, so I'm preparing it.
Stringer's about to come back, and if I see Stringer in season 4.
Oh no, he has a shotgun.
No. Like even when he got up to the 3rd floor, he wouldn't have been able to jump out a window like that, even if he had a gun. And then, he wasn't thinking; he was just trying to get away. And Muzone's at the top of the stairs. That was such a good way to corner. They cornered a rat, essentially. And just the way that shotgun blasted the first dude, I was like, oh my god, this is it. He's not getting away.
Who do you trust in the game, bro? You can't trust your enemies. You can't trust your partners. You can't trust family. You can't trust anyone.
Maybe don't kill your partner's nephew.
Like, you just can't.
And then tell him about it. You wouldn't sow deceit amongst the partners.
Also,
No,
I think the partner's nephew
that.
was okay because I think even Avon acknowledged like he was weak enough not to take care of the problem in the past. Like when
that was the catalyst, though. I know there were different types of criminals in the end, and maybe it was always destined to go this way. But to me, it felt like D'Angelo was the catalyst to their like.
No, it was Stringer betraying Brother Muzone. That's why he went to Avon. It was just like, look, man, your boy did this on your word. Like this is your third party. It's got to get handled, and I just need to know where he is. And he wouldn't have put the because after he killed D, he didn't do anything, but he did have the mistrust. The distrust, and then Brother Muzone came with that final straw. It's like, hey man, your boy did this shit. Maybe if you didn't know about it, whatever, I gotta kill him.
And I can't believe Avon gave him up with like you remember what they said, like no torture, nothing like that. Straight up, just gave him up.
It's because both of them were trying to do shit in the business that's completely different. Avon's still trying to take these streets, and Stringer's still trying to that is
the dumbest shit. Like you guys are
enterprise.
partners. You guys got to be on the same page. It doesn't make sense. So, oh my god.
And even when they were up on top of the roof talking, and like Avon's reliving like these like moments of their past where they did like some dumb shit and it was fun, right? And then Stringer was just like, man, looking at the property, he's like, man, if I had the money I had now, like I'd be able to buy like all this shit. And then Avon's like, bro, just like dream with me, like just like like be caught up in this part of it with me for a minute. And he's like, we ain't gotta dream no more because like for him it's all about the money. Like that's it. That's what he's going after. He's trying to like build that. Also, if you got the money this man got, you don't give a fuck about your $250,000. You give a fuck, all right. But like being like, we gotta go assassinate a fucking state senator. That ain't worth the $250,000.
I love Slim Charles.
That is true. That is 100% true. You're not supposed to go and do because like even Avon talks some sense into like you're just gonna bring some more problems that you don't even expect from killing a state senator. $250K is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot though. I ain't gonna front. That's a lot of money.
You talk about some assassination shit.
$250,000 tax-free money. That could buy you a house and set you up for 30 years.
It doesn't matter, man. You're a political figure. That's some assassination shit. I'm all about that murder stuff, but that's some assassination.
That is some assassination shit.
Bro.
Slim Charles needs a spin-off series.
I know. I know you say hilarious.
So, the shit with Cuddy and the kids. Cuddy and the kids.
It's cute. I like how they aren't sort of losers or whatever, and they're probably gonna learn and grow. It's really good.
Run, if you get beat up, would you go back and kill somebody? Or are you projecting?
Yeah, she was gonna kill him.
I just assume they're gonna kill being, who they are and the anger issues they have.
You ain't seen none of these little types killing, and even the old auntie at the thing was like, half these kids just playing gangster.
I love that scene with the auntie telling everybody, like, well, okay, so Bunny's showing Kirkcuddy just like the good and the bad. The good being the community, like saying like, hey, this cop actually talked to me now, my neighbor's safer and everything. And the bad, as good and the bad is Amsterdam. And yeah, I kind of like Kirkcuddy showing Bunny showing Kirkcuddy around in that. That was like really like meaningful. I don't know if it'll happen in our real world per se, but
maybe. Hopefully they're trying something out with some more sanctions and more overall, I don't know, more officiating. Right?
They're doing it in Indiana right now. If you get caught with, less than a gram?
Less than that.
Or less than an ounce? More less than a gram.
I mean, with weed, but yeah.
But yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, slowly but surely we're trying to move to something that's more reasonable because, like, America is big on its endless wars. We're fighting wars on terrorism, which is an ideology type of thing, and then we're fighting wars on drugs, which is drugs ain't never gonna go
An
away.
inanimate fucking object.
So like,
I do appreciate that Bunny took him to both sides of like the ugliness and the goodness.
Yeah.
Because while if he's gonna go out, even though he was on his day off, his vacation or whatever, he's like whatever. Like you can tell Bunny actually kind of does believe in this Amsterdam thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just something he was doing while walking out the door.
yeah.
He just used that as an excuse to not be in trouble for it or not care about the repercussions. But he's actually taking a politician around like, look at this.
And he was
now I believe Carcetti knows the ugliness and the goodness that something like Amsterdam could.
He said it wasn't about, he was like, I don't have a victory plan. Like, it's not about, like, it's about leaving a legacy. He was like, I didn't even think about it that far. Like, he's just trying to solve the problem.
Yeah,
And, like, he doesn't, like, the repercussions, like, he didn't even think about it. And I think that part's, like, super awesome, like, noble.
Yeah. And the police, man, I swear, I don't, a beat cop, I didn't even know they call them beat cops because cops used to walk a certain beat. Like, do they do that anymore?
No.
I don't
They
ever
drive.
see any
They
cops on a
drive now.
specific route.
They drive.
So, just, I've heard of it, I've seen it in viral videos. Maybe you talked about how there was a cop in your community in Gary or something.
No, over on the west side.
Okay.
He was dark. He sucks.
Maybe it's just because, I lived in Lawrence Township most of my life here, and that's like, I mean, it's not a great area, but it's not like the worst area either. But I would assume they would have some cops over there that know family members and community leaders and shit.
So that's what I was wondering. Like they were talking about how back in the day, like the police knew like their community members, and I feel like now we have a lot. Like I don't know, I really don't know the numbers or anything like that. Like compared to how many cops we have in the force versus how in the back, and how many cops are per precincts or district, however they determine those things. But like I would figure there's more cops now than there were back in the day, just because how population grows and how things go. So then if that's the case, then how come we don't see that? Like nowadays you see cops just hiding behind the car, staying in the parking lot and just playing with the fucking computer, or they're at their at their office, but they're not actually out there walking around or anything like that. Maybe they don't need to walk around anymore, but they're not literally interacting with anybody anymore, which probably has that line where we don't see cops as our community members anymore. We just see them as law enforcement members.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'll see like a cop like on a bike or walking around sometimes. I'll say hi or smile. Maybe just like literally like it's like the plague or like a disease said hi to them.
I have literally never
Really?
seen.
Usually they say hi back.
Nah, dude.
I've never seen a cop like walk. Like when we lived back in on like 10th Street.
Yeah.
Like they're always nowhere to be found when shit's going down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 7 cop cars at the gas station because someone called over some bullshit. And like they like literally come like a gang. Like every time there's a call into like a majority black community, it's not one cop car. It's at least 7.
They're all bored and they're
right.
Yeah. Like okay, take a walk around a neighborhood, introduce yourself to like the people that you're supposed to protect. Like they don't grow these connections. They don't have no relationships to their community, like no loyalty.
Yeah.
They see them as potential criminals, not as citizens.
I don't want to paint it all with a broad stroke, though. With a broad brush, because obviously there are cops that do that. And there are good cops. We see good cops on this show.
Yeah.
Very few, maybe, or maybe the news reports the very bad because that's all that's easy.
Well, I think
I'm not telling you about news. I'm telling you what I've experienced in my neighborhood.
I know, but like I'm saying, several of these cops that are doing their job, that are doing these things, that is not what gets clicks in articles.
Yeah, but all right. So like for everybody here on the couch, and this is just anecdotes.
I'm not saying we don't have a problem.
No. I'm saying like everybody here on the couch, like anecdotally, like how many times have you had like a really positive interaction with a cop where you're like, damn, like I'm glad this cop was here to help out.
I've had a couple, but I mean it wasn't someone on duty. Well, I'm probably on duty. I wasn't doing anything. I was just rolling around the neighborhood and saw a cop sitting at a light talking to sitting at a stop sign just talking to some kid. I don't know if they had any relation or anything like that, but I'm just riding my bike, say hi to you guys. Like it's not gonna do that. A couple cops that I know, like I've known their kids or something like that, but that's still a personal relationship. Like as far as cops that I don't know, it's always been a weird experience.
I have exclusively, and this isn't saying all cops are, I've exclusively only had bad interactions with cops. My ex-girlfriend punched me in the face, wouldn't leave my house, called the cops, and they were like, she's crying, and they were like, what did he do to you? And I was like, I called y'all. And they were like, excuse me, you need to shut the fuck up. I was like, I called you. She won't leave. And they were like, did he hit you? He hit you, right? Did he hit you? And I was like, oh my fucking God. So, as you mean, I typically have bad experiences with them.
I mean, I've had, you know, I haven't had like a swell experience with police officers, but you know, it's the usual, like, you got any weapons in your car? I'm like, no. Like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. It's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I don't have any fucking goddamn weapons in my car. But anyway, what was I gonna say? This has been cropping up a lot more in the news lately. It's like ever since we saw Perez Belushi shoot that cop, suddenly police violence in our real world just skyrocketed. I know it's been happening. I know it always has been happening, but the last month here, where it's like April 20th right now-ish, by the way.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. And so in the last month, or the last few weeks or so, there have been mass shootings, all these cop killings, and it made me think about our conversation with The Wire, because we were talking about how Perez Belushi and some of these officers, like, taser.
Yeah.
They're just like, all they see is people in these communities being criminals. So like they don't get to have a life outside of work too. So it did make me think about that side slightly, being like, man, these people are just rushed through training. They're just put in this environment where they think everybody's the enemy because it's a fucking war going on. So they have to bring 8 or 9 cop cars every time they go to like a black community, because they're like, well, I'm not going without backup. Like they're too afraid to come there by themselves anymore. When I know they're the ones that did, you know, struck the first hit or whatever to create this distrust. But I don't know, it's gotta start somewhere. Someone's gotta be brave enough to go into the neighborhood and community and introduce themselves, get everybody to know your face. You know what I mean?
Well, and the last thing I want to say, it's kind of like this. Like all of us, maybe Spidey tuning out at this point, when we do shit, we think about it as content first. Like, because that's our job, right? Our whole entire life, like everything we do, like sometimes, like we're watching The Circle and Mickey's like, oh, I'm gonna come over and like make a vlog out of it. Like, it's content. Think about content. Oh, this will be a good TikTok. Oh, I should take a fucking picture of this thing and put it on Instagram. People are gonna like this. Cops, their whole thing is that it's crime that they always see first. So everything for them is like, they approach shit as like, oh yeah, you're a suspect first. And then we'll work backwards from that.
Even though it should be a community that they're supposed to protect first.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, anything about the episode we missed?
Carcetti, McNulty walked out on old girl.
Good.
That was a big step for our boy.
It was good. No longer
Very
being
mature.
used as a piece of meat. He didn't want to be used for
He doesn't want to
information.
make no states.
I do want to give ups on Mayor Royce, even though I am fine with Burrell being like, no, fuck this, they're not putting it on me. Because that's what's going to happen if he does nothing and just sits there. But Royce is actually trying to see the good in this, or a middle ground, but there's just no way. Like, what's his name? Odell Watkins, whatever.
Odell Watkins.
He's like, but the church is not going to have you back on this, bro. Like,
I don't get the churches on that. I really don't get the churches on that.
I mean,
morals
about it. You walk around, see someone fucking shooting something in their arm just in broad daylight.
Don't the churches know that, like, it's going to happen regardless. How do you want it to happen?
Yeah.
Do you want it in a controlled setting or uncontrolled setting? Do you want your kids, like your churchgoers, to get caught in that mess or not get caught in that mess? I don't get, like, the church's stance does not make sense to me because that's
Pat, it wouldn't happen regardless if they just trust their heart to God.
But how long are we trying to trust this? To trust that God's been going on for like millions of fucking years and no one, like, it hasn't even created a good fucking world yet. So can we give up on that? Like, seriously.
No, it's religion. That's not how religion works. Though we all agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. I'm just saying, what they would say.
You like from church's mission from 2,000 years ago has been to help build community, help the underserved, be a sanctuary for these people. There are churches that actually do work, have AA meetings in the basements and shit like that. They invite those people that suffer with addiction and help them. The one the original.
That
guy. He is helping. They were there in the community in Amsterdam them helping. But I think that majority of the churches that are like in politics, the private churches are just like
they can't get caught looking bad.
Yeah, but
like
what if they have the needle exchange? They have all those programs over there. Have some churches there.
Yeah.
Like, in those zones, like for people like listen to the word of God. Maybe it'll help you with your addiction problems and your criminal activity. I don't know.
And as an experience in the black church, they usually a lot of like the higher ups in the church are previously from the streets and being like, I used to do that shit. That's how. God, look at this. You see this? I'm telling you, I'm gonna sponsor this company. If the fucking thing falls out of my ear, it's
AirPods.
Stick with JBL, man. That's right.
I'm switching to Pixel Pods. Anyway, what? Anything else on the episode?
Bye.
Hey guys, we're gonna finish this up and watch the finale of The Wire. You can already see it over on Patreon if you want to. If you're watching this on Patreon, hey, hi you. How are you doing? And with that being said, we'll get to the next one.
Bye.
Alright, The Wire, Season 3, Episode 11, Middle Ground. Let's talk about it. It was like an okay episode. Yeah, like not much happened. Just kidding. A lot happened. Including Stringer's presumed death, which he got shot a lot. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Stringer died. He died. Stringer's dead. And it's crazy. Like, Season 3 is not even over yet. And it you felt it coming, especially with all the foreshadowing taking place and all the dialogue and the conflict between Avon and Stringer, especially the scene on the rooftop. It kind of still came out of nowhere. And like my personal story is like before I even watched The Wire, I used to see box DVD sets for the show all the time. And for some reason, I remember seeing Stringer on the season 5 box. Like I didn't know anything about the show. I don't know what it was, but I just remember Stringer being on all the box sets. So when I was watching it, I was like, there's no way. Like he's got to be a series long character. There's no way. They're about to kill him off right here. And then it happens, and it's crazy, man. But anyways, let's get into the episode. The Omar Muzone showdown at the beginning, I love it so much. It felt very spaghetti western. It was very much shot like a western, even with the close-ups on the faces and like the dialogue and the close-up on the guns and all those little details. It was a very intense showdown, and you can just see the high amount of respect they have for each other. They're both violent people, and they both know what the other one is capable of. And I think Muzone just has a weird kind of respect for Omar, because he was like probably one of the only ones able to get to Muzone. And you're not gonna get a sit down with Omar just by like asking around for him. So like this is the only way really Muzone could have gotten this face to face. And I love that scene so much. It starts off so strong. Let's talk about Cuddy next. I'm proud of my man Cuddy. He's making some big strides with his kids. He's finally, it was funny when he went to go ask Avon for the money, and he's like doing this big sales pitch, and it's all for like $10,000, and then Avon gives him $15K right off the bat without even a question, which, seems like a generous thing for Avon to do. We might look at that and be like, oh, Avon, look at how generous he is. Look at him taking care of kids in the community. Well, Avon is a huge part of why this community is as broken as it is. So I actually kind of find it kind of not fake, but it is a little disingenuous, right? Like first you contribute to the breakdown of your community, and then you come back with generous donations to make yourself feel good about it. And it's just like, okay. And it's interesting to me too, reading your guys' comments in the videos, because everybody is defending Avon when it comes to the whole Avon Stringer beef, and everybody's like, Avon is the only person who knows what this game is all about. You guys shouldn't have been talking bad about Avon. But hey guys, let's not miss the point here. Avon is not a person we're supposed to be idolizing. He's exactly what's wrong. He's partly what is wrong with the community. And yeah, he is knowledgeable to the game, and he knows everything about it. And yeah, in the end he did turn out to be right. But so did the co-op, man. There was a co-op. It was peaceful. They were doing their business without having violence into the equation. And I know Marlo is stubborn and all that, but like, just because Avon knows the game, like, that's not That's not the point. Like, he's the reason why things are going to stay the same always. You have to grow past Avon, and I think that's what Stringer was trying to do. And I honestly don't think Stringer gets enough credit for that. Like, everybody sees Stringer as the bad guy, which he is. They're both terrible people. But I do think Stringer was trying to evolve with the times and do something different. And I think he should be commended for that as well. But anyways, Cuddy's making progress. His kids are doing well, so we'll catch up with him as that comes into play. Let's just talk about the detail and McNulty a little bit, because it's really funny with McNulty's case and the date that he went on with God, I still can't remember her name, but D'Agostino, I think. But anyways, the detail is doing well, man. They made moves this episode, and they figured out a lot of the network, and they were able to get the Stringer's phone. I thought what was interesting is, like, when he went to Fitz and FBI asking for the equipment, he was like, bro, your city already has 3. And then he goes to pick up that equipment, and the guy running that whole entire space is just nose deep in a porno mag and has no idea what the heck is going on. There's so much useful technology right behind him that could be useful to many different departments, but it's like no one even knows it's there. Lester said it himself when they were using it. He's like, I can't believe this was at ISD collecting dust, and that's a huge problem. It's like, maybe there is resources out here for departments, but we just don't even know that it's there because nobody told us about it. Again, lack of communication. And it seems like Homeland Security is hooking people up, but no one knows about it. And the guy running that counter, his job should be to know exactly what is behind him, what purpose it's for, what department it would be useful for. But again, it's just a guy who's there clocking in, clocking out, doesn't care. And that's a problem. It's just sad for the detail, man. It's kind of very poetic how this is all coming to somewhat of a closure between the detail and Avon and Stringer, because they got him. The detail won. They got the evidence that they needed on Stringer. They fucking did it, and they were congratulating themselves and having a good time about it. And then Stringer died. So, like, ultimately, they don't get to have the satisfaction of bringing him in with handcuffs on. And I want to talk about McNulty and his date with D'Agostino, because he obviously was getting used by her, and she was just like, yeah, so what do you know about this Colvin guy? I don't know, I just heard this story around the office. What's that all about? And it's so funny to see McNulty getting pissed, and he's like, oh, I thought we had something real. You're just using me for sex. And it's like McNulty is complaining about being used for sex when that's the thing that he's been doing to every woman in his life since, like, the dawn of time. This is exactly... He's in Rhonda's position now. He is the booty call, and he wants it to be more. And he wants to pop the question, so what are we? But, like, it's just funny that, like, what goes around comes around, and McNulty's finally feeling the effects of what he's been doing to women this whole time. So I don't really feel sorry for him. I think it's kind of funny that he wants to, like, pout about it because he really likes this girl, but she's just interested in sex. And it's like, well, there you go, McNulty. What goes around comes around. Let's move on to Amsterdam, Colvin, and Carcetti. Lots of stuff going on over there, man. It's so funny what's happening because Royce is actually interested in Amsterdam, and he's like, dude, look at the numbers. They're not false. Whatever happened down there is working. There's got to be some kind of compromise that we can figure out. Meanwhile, he didn't communicate that to Burrell, and so Burrell thinks that Royce is trying to bury him, and so now he's going on the offensive to cover his ass. Again, unintended consequences due to bad communication. Like, Royce could have just been like, hey, hang on, we're trying to figure this out. We might be able to make this work. Had he just said something like that, but again, leadership always likes to, it's a need-to-know basis kind of deal. And so Burrell is completely misreading the situation and then going to Carcetti to blab about everything that's happening. Honestly, this is the episode where we saw, like, the good that Amsterdam did. Crime is in fact down. Police officers are getting back to actual police work. The corners are clean. The community meetings are about actual community things and not just crime. And that was one of my favorite scenes too. The community meeting when the lady was talking about, you know, how old police used to be very intertwined with the community and you knew them on a name to name basis. And it's just building on what Colvin was talking to Carver about last episode, is like, that is how it should be. You know, when you see a police officer, you should recognize them and be like, oh, it's that guy. Your first initial reaction should not be complete fear and dread. Even today, like, I consider myself a pretty safe driver. I drive the speed limit 9 and 2, have my seatbelt on. I'm always driving as I'm supposed to be, but if a cop pulls up behind me, I just get in my head like, oh fuck, what did I do? What am I getting pulled over for? And you won't even be getting pulled over, but it's like anytime I am near a police officer, my initial feeling is complete dread. And that is inherently what is wrong with America and the police and the disconnect between the police and the community. And that's why we have all these problems happening, man, because it's like there is a disconnect there, and there shouldn't be. And I don't know how we go back to the old ways, I guess, but there definitely needs to be more like community outreach. And I'm not saying, you know, police, again, this is not a blanket statement, because I've seen plenty of examples of good police who are connected with their communities, and guess what? Their crimes are lower, and those are better communities to live in, because there is that shared space, and everybody knows each other, and that's how it should be. So I really enjoyed that scene. That was a really, really good scene. But Royce is trying his best to make these numbers work, or like find some kind of compromise. Let's call this what it isn't, and let's just see how long we can keep it going for. But now, is it like, does Royce really give a shit that crime is actually down, or does this just look good for his next campaign run, or can it be both? Maybe you know, I mean, who wouldn't like to know that, oh shit, crime is down in the city? That's awesome. This also looks great for my campaign. That's awesome too. So I think honestly, I'm sure Royce is happy that crime is down, but I think he's really more worried about this mayor campaign that's coming up, which Carcetti is on the heels of, man. I really love Carcetti and Colvin's interactions throughout this whole episode. Carcetti following him around and, you know, getting the ins and outs of what's happening, and he's got the ammo that he was still no one knows that still nobody knows that Carcetti is planning to run for mayor. That's still under wraps. Like, he hasn't let that out yet, because everybody's like, yeah, your friend, he's running for mayor, right? Yeah, go tell him this is good ammo he can use. I just love how Burrell just completely misunderstood the entire situation, and he went and blabbed when really this time Royce and Burrell could have been on the same side of things. But it's just funny how it all played out. Okay, so now before we get into Stringer, let's talk about, just real quick, I just want to mention Bubbles. He seemed to find a new sidekick this episode. Meanwhile, we saw Johnny just fucking slamming heroin like it's water. And yeah, that's kind of sad, right? Bubbles and Johnny, they've been Batman and Robin, crackhead Batman and Robin this whole time. And yeah, I don't know. It was just an observation that Bubbles seems to have moved on from Johnny, and he's got himself a new sidekick now. And the kid was homeless, but he didn't look like he was addicted to drugs. So I hope that Bubbles is a positive influence on this child, but they are both in the streets, so I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about Stringer. So much happened with him. There was so much setup with Stringer this episode that you just don't feel any imminent danger coming, even though there was plenty of foreshadowing. You know, the scene with him and Levy and Levy's schooling him on what actually happened and how Clay Davis was just playing him the whole time, just like he was playing Sabatka last season. Remember that Sabatka and the union, they donated like $70,000 to Clay Davis just for like a hello, and that is some politicians. I'm not gonna say all politicians, but politicians like Clay Davis are absolutely real, and you could lump lobbying into this conversation. That's essentially what lobbying is, right? Businesses come with their interests to politicians and they just line their pockets with cash to make sure things go their way. And sometimes they do, and sometimes it's a con man like Clay Davis. And it was just really funny to see Stringer kind of come into reality with like, oh fuck, I got played. Like he's in the wrong game, but you can't blame him for trying. And I just really loved the shot of Stringer in that scene. He's sitting on a bench and there's like the archway and you can see the Capitol building in the background, but like Stringer is like really small right here in the Capitol building. Like the political aspect of it all is just bearing down on him. Meanwhile, like we're zooming out and he's just getting more and more boxed in. It's like he's running out of options, and it's just, man, the visual storytelling sometimes in this show is just so good. And then of course, Stringer being Stringer, he wants to go kill Clay Davis, and Avon schools him again on. It's like Stringer was just getting schooled on all the mistakes he made this episode, and Avon's like, yeah, we're not gonna go kill a senator, dude. And that was a great scene to show Stringer's hypocrisy, because here he is talking about like, we don't need violence, we can evolve, we can get into some legit shit, and then like the second things don't go his way or he finds out he got played, he goes right back into his soldier gangster mentality. So his Stringer's hypocrisy was on full display this episode. And man, just the whole tension between Avon and Stringer and how they both rolled on each other this episode. Stringer rolled on him with Colvin, fed him some information, and again, great foreshadowing there because they did it in a graveyard. Stringer's last act was in a graveyard, so that was really good foreshadowing. Meanwhile, Avon, I don't know if Avon really had much of a choice, because if he said no to Muzone, then Muzone probably would have came for him too. I really loved the scene on the roof between them. They're reminiscing about their childhood. They're reminiscing about their entire history together. And what does it all come down to? Even the way they like said hello at the end, like they did that typical, how you say hello, like you pull a person in and you pat them on the back. But the way they had it framed, it seemed like both of them were stabbing each other in the back, which is essentially what they ended up doing. And it's just crazy for all that history that these two have, for all that they've grown up with. I mean, these two are like family to each other. At the end of it, when the money comes in, when the business comes in, man, loyalty ain't shit. And I think that's the biggest lesson this show is trying to teach on the game side of things, is like loyalty is a facade, dude. It's like, it's not, nobody gives a fuck about each other if enough money is on the table. You know what I mean? And it's a simple phrase, it's just business, but it's that from Stringer's perspective and Avon's perspective, hey man, I love you bro, but it's just business. And of course the the very earth-shattering conclusion and how he was taken out, he was just like an animal trapped in a corner. And one interesting thing I noticed is like they shot him up quite a few times. He got hit with a shotgun blast twice, and he got shot by Muzone at least 2 to 3 times. And he was standing in front of glass, and the glass behind him did not break. That means all of the bullets they fired landed inside him. There was no bullet that went through to break that glass. So likely they shot him up with hollow points, which are made to like kind of explode inside you and expand. So likely they shot him up with hollow points, and for the shotgun, maybe like a spread shot. But the glass didn't break behind him, so everything he got shot with is inside his body. So like, just to further lay it down, like, yeah, yeah, he's dead. he's done for. But man, what a poetic kind of end to Stringer. He dies inside of his legitimate business venture, or you know, inside of his dream. That's what he wanted, is to get out and be legit, but like it just wasn't a life for him, and he just made some really bad calls, man. Just really, really, really bad calls. And that's it. That's all she wrote for Stringer. But remember, Stringer rolled on Avon right before he died, so Avon is not, you know, out of the woods either. And I think Avon's going to have something coming for him too that he doesn't expect. But mostly, I just feel bad for the detail, man. All this time, especially McNulty, all this time they've been trying to catch Stringer, and they finally did it. They caught him on the wire. They got the evidence they needed, and then Stringer dies. So it's kind of just like tragically poetic how it all kind of went down. But yeah, that's it, guys. Let us know down below what your reaction was if this is a first time Wire watch for you. I love to read the comments, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thanks for watching The Wire with the Normies. Check us out on Patreon for early access and uncut content. Special shout out to our super patrons: Big Tasty, Doppelganger, Meshal, Sakif, Clayton, Harry MacFan, Exploring Dylan, Dane, Mr. Momus, Joe, Ian, Daniel, Yusef, Kadim, ZJP, and Keyboard Junkie. We will see you all next time.